First of all, I have to go to the guy that put that show together, Greg Garrison. Go back about 8 or 10 years. I'm riding a bus in New York City, and I see this guy sitting there. He said, "I know you." He says, "You went to high school with my brother, Stanley Greenberg or something." He says, "Well, that's why my name is Greg Garrison." And I knew who Greg Garrison was, so this was a big shock. And so he remembered, and he'd seen me work, and called me in, and he said, "I have to tell you, Greg Garrison, who was very, very talented, always reminds me, and very appropriately now, of Bobby Knight, the basketball coach, or former basketball coach at Indiana. He ruled with an iron fist, except for Dean." And he said that they were going to have a little acting group that would do a sketch with Dean every week. And it was Kay Medford and Lou Jacoby, Paul Lynde, another gal whose name escapes me, and myself. And I think we did 15, 16 of them in 1 year. But some of the things that were involved, which were so exciting, like he had Jonathan Winters on, and he gave him a solo spot, and he puts him in an attic set with all of these different trinkets and furniture, and he just let it go. These are pre-taped, these shows. And he let it go for 45 minutes. And he turned that 45 minutes into a 13-week summer show for Jonathan Winters. At 15 minutes with him, then he'd add a guest, he'd film some other stuff. That was incredible.
We should clarify that Greg Garrison is the director and the producer.
Is really the producer. They would have somebody else to direct. Now, Dean would only come to work on the day of the show.
No rehearsals.
No rehearsals. He'd sit in his dressing room, and his stand-in would walk the stuff with him. And we'd been on for about 4 weeks, and we had this scene where he and I have to run off the set as fast as we can. And we come through the set, and there's a piano about 10 feet off the door, and both two of us stop each other. And he's panting. And he turns to me, he says, looks at me, and says, "I didn't know you were on this show." And I said, "That's funny, I didn't know you were either." And he got a big kick out of that. He would, if you ever watched his show, he sang the same 4 songs all year long. He never sang a song that had a range of more than 6 or 7 notes. But he was really fun to work with, and he made you feel very comfortable.
Now, as I understand it, even he didn't do rehearsal prior to the day of the show, but even when he arrived, he didn't really participate much in the rehearsal.
No, he just stayed in his dressing room and watched his guy.
What do you think that the ability? What kind of ability did he have to not have to rehearse, but somehow make it through the show?
He didn't really care about what he had to say. I mean, he knew the gist of each little vignette because he always ad-libbed, and you just had to go with him.
So the cameras had to follow, and
he didn't ad-lib so much with his moves, but he did ad-lib with what he was saying, And they had cards posted around for him to look at, which he did once in a while, but.
But was that nerve-wracking for you on the other side of it?
No, not really. We tried not to pay any attention to it. Actually, the first time I had that experience with cards was when I did the Perry Como show right after Fiorello. And he introduces me, and I come out, and they're all over the place. It's like you're being surrounded by them, and I didn't know where to look, and it was really scary. So by the time Dean rolled around, I was a little more used to it.